Okay, this video is a SketchUp tutorial. In this video, we're going to go over the SketchUp platform. So let's begin. And when you open up SketchUp, you will open up the architectural feet and inches one. You'll know what I mean when you bring up SketchUp. I like this gray background simply because when I go to edit my renderings, there's another background that's green and blue to simulate grass and sky. It's easier for me to edit when I'm using Photoshop or something else. Okay, well, let's start looking at the platform. Here on top are your usual suspects: file, new, new from template, and I'm going to go ahead and hit new from template. And this is the one that I use right here, architectural in inches. Here's the green one that I was telling you about. And there you have it. I'm just going to go ahead and use this one. Here's some other ones. Other things that you can, your typical suspects. Control S for save, Control N for new, Control O for open. You can send to layout. I'll explain to that. I'll explain what that is later on. Geolocation, you can add an actual location using a physical address. I'll show you a video on that later. 3D warehouse, I'll show you what you can do with that. Trimble Connect, this is if you want to use the online version. Import, you can import CAD files and 2D CAD, floor plans, and then, extrude them up into three-dimensional SketchUp files. You can export a 3D model or export a 2D graphic. I'll show you how to do all that as well. And here's edit. You can undo. Control Z is standard. You can undo by Alt backspace as well. Redo, Control Y. I'm letting you know the keyboard commands because that's the quickest way you are going to learn how to draft using any drafting program, whether it's SketchUp, AutoCAD, Revit. This is the quickest way. Copy, paste, Control C, Control V. Delete is just delete. Select all, Control A. Invert selection, Control Shift I. There's hide and unhide. I'll show you what these are later. Lock and unlock. I'll show you what those are as well. You can lock certain layers. Make a component, make a group. Intersect faces. These are the different view planes, and so you can use, there's different toolbars that are readily available, and you see some of them right here, different toolbars. You can see a section plane, section cuts, hidden geometry, shadow. You can add shadows and fog. There's different styles of edges, face. You can do animation, so you can create a flyby video using animation. You can also do that with cameras as well. So your standard views: top, bottom, left, right, back, front, ISO. Parallel projection, this is good if you want to see things that are flat. So if you want an elevation, you can export an elevation using parallel projection. But right now we're using perspective, so we can draw things in perspective. Match new photo. This looks like it's, I haven't really messed with this, but we can play around with it and see what it is. Orbit is just the letter O. This is another keyboard command. Pan, that's another keyboard command. H. Zoom, the letter Z, also another keyboard command. So you'll see keyboard shortcuts to certain commands, and the quicker you learn them, the quicker you are going to be able to draft. These are zoom commands. Position camera, walk, look around. These are if you want to create a walkthrough video as well. We won't really get into that, but I'm sure there's YouTube videos out there that will show you how to do that. Draw, lines, arcs, shapes, sandbox. We'll get into all of these. They're all right here. Lined is the letter L. Arc is the letter A. And you can choose between 2 point, 3 point, and pi. Shapes, there's rectangle, circle, and there's a polygonal command as well. Windows, default tray, and so here's some of the defaults that you'll get. The instructor, that's what you see over here. Match photo, soften edges. The 3D warehouse, this is great if you want to bring in certain components that you don't necessarily have to draw. Like you don't have to draw, you know, that one designer chair that you love. Typically that designer might have a SketchUp file located here, or you might go to that designer's website and they'll have that file that you can readily download into your SketchUp drawing. And they do that because, well, it's free advertisement for them. If you sell your client on that particular designer chair, they make money. And so this is why they offer SketchUp files or Revit files on their products. Extension warehouse. Extensions are like add-ons to the program to allow you to do certain things that make SketchUp even easier to use. Ruby console, haven't you really used that? Component options or component attributes. There's things that you can do with components that will enable you to make them dynamic. Here's some of the extensions. This one's Enscape. Enscape in Brighter 3D. They're rendering extensions, and so you can make photorealistic renderings. Help option, the help center. Typically you'll have to sign in. I've signed in as myself. I could always check for updates here, manage my license or licenses. But the help center, tips and tutorials. If my tutorials aren't enough, there's more right here. Just click on it and then bam, there's a whole YouTube channel. Let me pause that you can subscribe to, and it'll take you through all these lessons one by one. And you can start at the beginning, and there's beginner lessons, and I want to say, I don't know exactly where they're all at. And let's see. Oh, playlists. Let's go to their playlists. Yeah, probably right here, tutorial playlists. I don't know why they have 45 of them, but you're welcome to check them out and get more proficient with it. The quicker you get more proficient, the better. Anyway, that's the help. Okay, let's go over here. Here are some of the materials that you can choose to put into your model. Components, this is at 3D Warehouse over here. I can type in chair, if I spell it right. There we go. And they'll give you all kinds of different chairs that you can choose from, and you just click on it, and sometimes it might take you to other things. It'll ask you to download chair. I don't know why it's asking me for this, but education, student language, English. Oh yeah, because these are made all over the world. Let's see. Select interest, architecture, art, furniture, interior design. I guess you can only choose 3. Woodworking. I don't know. Okay, download. Yes. Hit OK. And now it's downloading this entire model into my SketchUp. And bam. There you go, lady. Have a seat. And you'll notice that it is blue. It will not show up blue. If I hit the space bar, this brings this tool up, the select tool. I'll do that in another video. But yep, there's the chair. And anyway, that's just that. Let's close that up. Styles. You can show different styles of how you want to view SketchUp. You can add tags, shadows. You can go to different months of the year. Yeah, January, February, March, April, May. You can choose, and you can add different shadows. April 21st at this time. You could even go to 6:41 p.m. all the way to dark. So it just really depends on what you want to show, and you can adjust lightness and darkness and other things. Because this is more for not construction documents, but presentation. And you're going to show your client a presentation. And so some of these things are very useful in creating a nice presentation for your client. This instructor right here, it'll let you know what some of these tools do. I'm going to go ahead and minimize that. And I'm going to minimize styles. And here is my layers. I use this all day, every day. Layers help me control this entire building I'm about to construct. And I can turn on layers, turn off layers to help me get into like the little parts of getting into certain things and certain parts of your design. If you have a 2-story building and you want to do something on the stairs and everything's all enclosed, you can shut off a layer, and that layer will no longer be seen, and then you can navigate a lot easier into some of these areas. How I'm navigating right now is, if you have a mouse with a mouse wheel, play with your mouse wheel. Zoom in and zoom out using your mouse wheel. If I depress and hold the mouse wheel, I'm in an orbit command, so you don't have to hit anything else. So I definitely recommend having a mouse wheel, or the orbit command is right here. All right, so that's it for this video. These are other things that we'll get into. We'll get into the tools in my next video, but that's all I got for this one. All right.